converting water and carbon dioxide into oxygen and glucose via photosynthesis. The biomass produced by this process supports all non-chemosynthetic life in the and without it, the depths below would starve. Dip below the epipelagic, and we enter a world of gloom. This is the twilight zone, or the mesopelagic. From now on, we are in the deep sea. Already rise to a unique niche that animals can exploit, and the great gloom brings forth the weird and wonderful. Many of these treasures are gelatinous zooplankton, moving at the whim of the ocean, swept by deep currents and unable to move against them. A host of delicate nomads drifting through the expanse. The gossamer worm, or Tomopteris, is a segmented worm belonging to a group called polychaetes, meaning many bristles. And unlike its cousin, the earthworm, it moves not through sediment, but through the open ocean. It undulates its bristles like the paddles of a canoe in order to swim. And after it's fed, the gut within its transparent body reveals the color of its last meal. But this can blow their cover, since many of the animals it eats are bioluminescent, creating light through a series of chemical reactions. There are others that have found creative ways to overcome this challenge. The bloody belly comb jelly undulates its hair like cilia to attract prey, reflecting light to cast a rainbow shimmer. It takes on a deep red color to blend in, since the wavelengths of red light do not reach the deep sea. Astonishingly, adopting a red coloration conceals the stomach and filters out any light being emitted by the prey within while they're digested. There are relatives of snails here too, like Cardiopoda placenta, a rare pelagic gastropod. And another species, Carinaria japonica, with its large swimming fin that swims upside down in search of prey.
Quarterback gets ready, steps up, hands off the wrist to the running back, stretches, and brings it home!
My kids can't hide anything from me.
I'm home!
Especially when they've been using toilet paper that doesn't hold up.
New Charmin Ultra Strong has durable and it cleans better, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Siphonophores, related to jellyfish, are not one organism, but many. They are drifting colonies of tiny animals called zooids that work together and partition biological functions between different structures. Nectophores act as swimming bells, assisting in propulsion in much the same way as the umbrella of a jellyfish. Pneumatophores help with buoyancy, and at the far end, gastrozoids dangle tentacles lined with stinging cells into the water. The colonial way of life mirrors that of multicellular organisms, with the zooid structures seeming homologous to organs, but it gives the siphonophores a unique advantage. In most animals, damage to one organ or physical structure can be fatal. But if individual zooids become damaged, it's less likely to affect the entire colony. They repeatedly clone themselves and can become effectively immortal. In fact, this siphonophore, belonging to the genus Apolemia, is thought by scientists to be the longest animal that has ever been observed. Rough calculations, based on the position of the ROV, suggest it reached 150 meters in length, significantly longer than the blue whale. Many tunicates are also colonial, like pyrosomes, and floating necklace-like salps. All these zooplankton examples can be classified as holoplankton, moving largely at the whim of the currents for the entirety of their life cycles. Meroplankton, on the other hand, are only planktonic temporarily, and are typically the larval stages of fish or species that spend the adult stages of their life. For some animals, the reverse is true, and the larval stage is sessile. The life cycle of many jellyfish begins with a polyp stage on the seabed. Planular larvae settle and develop into a scyphistoma before asexually reproducing to produce a stack of developing juvenile medusae called a strobila. These juveniles bud off one by one and develop into pelagic adult forms of jellyfish. And the midwaters are full of them. But jellyfish here lack a polyp stage altogether and complete their entire life cycles. Some host the young larvae within their bell as they develop. The dinner plate jelly swims with its tentacles extended forward, a technique that allows them to stealthily sneak up on larger pods, the squid, octopus, and cuttlefish. The largest and most intelligent of the ocean's invertebrates. They are mollusks, related to snails and bivalves, but their basic body structures are modified and specialized to make the most of life in the open ocean. The mantle has become streamlined, and a modified foot serves as a set of 8 or more arms. And of the 700 cephalopod species known to science, none are more peculiar than those that inhabit the deep sea. At 650 meters down, we find an octopus that is almost entirely see-through.
98% of women complete SPF 40 to the leading brand. Try Complete today. Only Olay.
The glass squid, with its bulging eyes, has also developed a body that is transparent. Most of the time. When it suits them, they change the color of their skin and fill their mantle with ink to turn deep red. This ink also contains ammonia, which is lighter than seawater and allows the squid to remain buoyant. More abundant in the deep ocean than anywhere else. in the deck masses are thought to be animal lookalikes, dubbed pseudomorphs, and they serve as a decoy. Some look like comb jellies or jellyfish, others resemble siphonophores. In some cases, it may be advantageous for the squid itself to look like another animal. This species, the sword-tailed squid, was observed mimicking siphonophores of the genus Nanomia. The juveniles possess ornate tails that double the length of their bodies and seem to copy the shape and colors of their gelatinous neighbors. For nearly all creatures of the Twilight Zone, others achieve this effect to a greater degree by emitting their own light. Bioluminescence, produced from glandular organs called photophores that line their bodies with a pattern of glowing dots, like those of the firefly squid. As they ascend, they increase the intensity of their lights to match the levels.
But wish you had more